Let's just record it tomorrow.
Why? I'm here. Come on. Stop acting like this. Come on. I was looking.
I don't think today's the day.
Come on. Come on, babe. Come on. Come on. Come on. We'll start from your.
Serious.
I am taking it serious.
I don't have time for this work. I could be playing Pokemon.
Oh yeah, because you've been spending how many hours? 70 hours on that game so far?
Hours that are productive.
Okay, come on.
Man,
Big old baby, come on.
Assalamu alaikum. I know it's not Monday, but we're still going to talk about marriage. So, my name's Amir.
My name is Kamara.
And today we're going to figure out if you should be courting
while you're in quarantine. I just want to throw it out there. I don't even know what day it is. So let's get to the topic. Should you be courting while you're in quarantine / isolation?
In my opinion, it's the best time to start trying to find a potential spouse.
Yeah, but I think...
If you're courting online.
Yeah.
If you're courting online, this is the perfect time for you to go out and try and find a spouse. You know, preferably, obviously, you're probably not going to find anyone in the medical field right now. If you're looking for a doctor or a nurse, not going to find them.
Oh yeah, they're not active. We should real quick talk about the difference between dating and courting. You know, because courtship and dating, they have two different meanings. And like with Muslims, we don't date, we court. So dating is like...
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know,
Inshallah.
You
know.
Yeah.
Keep it halal. So with dating, it is defined as like a social event where two people are like seeing each other for like companionship, okay? Mm-hmm. And then like courting, two people getting to know each other with the like intention of being married. Like, yeah. So all those meetings you have, it's like, okay, well, are you marriageable? With courting, with dating, it's like, okay, well, I could tolerate you. We could do this again.
No, I feel like dating is like, dating is a touchy subject, you know? Like, once you get into it, people date and they get into these serious relationships, but, you know, they're not married. And with courting, it's like you're developing this relationship so that you can be married, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's just, I don't know. I don't want to say that it's not serious or it's not with the intention to get married, but I mean, when people are dating, they're like, yeah, I mean, we're just dating, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're just dating. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just dating. That in itself implies that it's not serious.
Yeah.
But we're just dating. You know. Anyway, so should you be dating during quarantine? My whole thing is first you gotta figure out if
should you be courting.
Yeah, you're right. Should you be courting during quarantine? I think you gotta figure out if you are bored or if you're actually seeking a spouse. You know, because if you're like, dang man, I've been in isolation. You know, this is day 71. I've been in isolation and I still don't have a husband. Like, dang, I'm kind of bored. I need someone to talk to. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I know that if you do start to try and court or find people right now, you might just find someone that is looking for someone to talk to.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But at the same time, you know, talking is the first step. That's how you that's phase one. If you can't communicate,
okay,
you have to establish some communication, and then but then there is that
possibility of this person playing around, playing games, or like a woman getting on there. Oh, my wali doesn't know that I'm on this website, so you can't talk to him. And he's like, wait, but I want to talk to him. Like, I like you. And she's like, oh, but my dad doesn't know, so we can't do this. Or he's like, well, you know, I'm just kind of figuring myself out right now. I'm just trying to see, you know, a couple months down the line, they're like, wow, we've developed a relationship, and you're still at this moment where you're just like trying to see what's going on. So it's like, if you don't have the intention, the like ability to actually get married, right? Like, don't be playing around. Like, why are you trying to court people during this quarantine? You're bored.
Also, if you have been courting and for some reason during this quarantine or self-isolation, the person who you're courting with can't find time for you, that's what we call a red flag. It's time to get rid of them.
unless they are an essential worker.
Yeah, unless they're like a real essential worker. We're talking policeman, someone in the medical industry.
People building satellites, apparently.
Whatever. You know, people like that, right? But if it's not, and they're kind of just chilling at home, making coffee, you know, it's probably a red flag. To time to cut that person off, drop them like a
hot potato.
Yeah.
I feel like I used that already.
I don't know. You use a lot of weird stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your profile picture is like the most important thing. Okay.
Right. When you're dealing with someone online, that's the first thing that you're gonna see, right? You don't see the text. You probably don't even read the name. First thing you see is a picture. So you want to make sure that you have a picture that's gonna say, "Hey,
marry me.
That's gonna be my wife."
Our husband. Yeah. So like you don't want a picture from weird angles. You want like a picture that's like natural, that like when the quarantine's done, they could recognize you. This goes for guys and girls.
Another thing that you can do is focus on your profile. So these marriage websites often have profiles that describe yourself.
Your bio?
Your bio.
Your interest.
And what you have now is time. So use that time to sell yourself in the best way possible. So first, we're going to take a good picture. Next, we're going to build our profile. What's after that, babe?
You want to ask other people, their opinion about you. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm a real chill dude, but in reality, you have anger issues. You need to ask their honest opinion about like who you are. I think typically we tend to think of ourselves and like we're more than we actually are.
Yeah.
And we want, and of course, it's like when you're talking about marriage and you're trying to present yourself, you want to present yourself in the best way possible, but don't be lying to people. Get other perspectives on who you are.
The one thing that I want to say is that when we're saying when we're encouraging you to figure out or understand your faults, it's not to say that you can't get married or you're not ready to get married, but it is to say that you do need to recognize that these are things that you need to work on, and if you haven't been working on, you need to start, because these aren't traits that you want to bring in to a relationship. There are people who are, very abusive to their family. There's individuals who drink, smoke, who go out and they party all night.
And there's people who have like childhood trauma, like
right. That's a thing as well. Things that they have in their past that they can't get rid of. Some people have PTSD from an experience that they've had in the past. So we want you to recognize that we all have our faults, and that we need to work on those. And or get through some of the issues and mental issues that we're having before we bring another person into our situation.
That was really good job, babe. I like how you said that.
When you're speaking with someone, what's something that you should look out for? Hey, be honest. I saw that smirk. Let's hear it. Let's see.
I think people should be kind of cautious of people who come in too strong with compliments, and too strong with, like what they say. The one who works for Care, she's doing like online courting basically, and she posted the type of messages she receives from guys like on a daily basis. And people are like, oh, if she asked him like, what's your favorite ice cream? He was like, your lips would be my favorite flavor.
Oh wow.
First of all, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Second of all, like...
Yes, yeah. So if you're a guy and you think that... If you're a guy and you're talking with a woman... Because it's the guys most of the time, all right? If you're talking to her and you think to yourself, oh, this would be really smooth. Don't say that. All right?
Don't
say what you would think would not be smooth. And that's probably the right thing to say, especially... If you're doing this through text or online and you don't know this person, because it's gonna come off as uncool and creepy.
It's gonna come off super creepy, and you know what? Immediately they're gonna be like, you know what? This is a no for me. Yeah. This is a no for me. If you would be embarrassed for this woman to send the screenshots to your mother, then you should not be saying it.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
Another thing is, for guys and girls, if you're talking to someone and they're telling you about a certain situation they're in, and they want you to accept them for who they are and their position, You don't have to do that. And I just want to...
Wait, give an example. Like, what do you mean?
For example, there's a lot of... I've heard a lot of stories of where guys will approach women and say, I'm really looking for marriage, but, right now I'm living with my mom. I'm in and out of jobs, but I really like you, and, I really want to get to know you. And the girl says, it doesn't sound like you're in the right position. And then the guy's like, well, you should accept me, and, we should be getting married for Allah and this, that, and the other. And you do not have to accept that. There's a lot of girls who are pressured into these situations, and they're like, oh, what do I do? Like, is it okay for me just to cut them off? Listen, you have no ties to this person. They're online. You barely know them because you're courting. You're not dating. So if you say, I'm done, and then you never message them again, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah. You might see him one time in San Francisco when you're walking down the street, and then you'll say, dang. But that's just about it.
If a guy who you are courting, like even like he hasn't even talked to your dad yet. If he's over there asking you for like hijabless pictures, homie, that's an immediate block and put it in the trash.
I mean, in his defense, okay, in America, right, there's a lot of Muslims that don't understand the wali. And because of their exposure to Islam, because Islam in itself isn't different, but the Muslims are, right? And our culture as Muslims today is like, we go to the masjid and we grow up around Muslim girls, and in a lot of communities, the guys and girls are hanging out, right? So it's like they're hanging out. They've likely seen the Muslims that go to their masjid at their school with hijabless pictures, and then when they're online, they're like, oh, can you send me a picture without your hijab so I can see what you look like? They're not thinking anything of it because people around them aren't covering. There's a lot of Muslim women who don't cover. So it's not to say, like, just because you're online, right, I don't think you should completely judge them for asking for the picture. I think that what you could say is that, I'm not comfortable with sending any hijabless pictures until you've talked to my wali. And so then if he's pressuring you after that, then you can definitely cut him off.
Okay, that's true.
Right?
Give him a chance and then throw him in the trash. I guess you don't have to throw the whole man away like right away. I guess you do have a point there. Yeah. That was well said. I'll give you that one, babe.
Being a guy myself, obviously, alhamdulillah. It's for them, when they talk to a Muslim, right? A lot of guys afford Muslim women more respect than they do other non-Muslim women. So some of them are making an effort to be more cautious with their verbiage and how they're communicating with you, but at the same time they don't have all the answers, and so you gotta cut guys a little bit of slack, man. And just give some guys benefit of the doubt, and then you gotta also remember that there are women out here trying to get married without a wali at all, or who aren't involving their wali. So then when the guy's like, okay, I want to take this serious and get involved, and like, can I speak to your wali? They're reluctant to give them contact information.
Yeah,
to the wali.
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, that is a problem. Like, you have to have your wali involved. Like, if your wali is not a part of your life, like like if your father is not a part of your life, you still have to have a wali appointed.
So for guys, when you're courting with women, ask them if it would be an issue with you speaking to their wali, because if that's already going to be a problem, then it's like, especially if you're online, you're an online guy trying to communicate with a wali who's...
Oh yeah, that's already going to be difficult.
Yeah, you might as well just cut her off quickly.